They laughed at him because he was different. They shouted because they thought they were strong. But when they tried to humiliate him, they didn't know his story, or who was watching from the shadows that day. Stay with me, because this one ends with power, not revenge. The school bell rang across Oak Ridge High. Groups of students filled the courtyard, laughing and playing before class. Among them walked Eli Turner, a quiet, tall 15-year-old in a purple hoodie. It was his first day at a new school, and all he wanted was a normal day, to blend in. Eli wasn't shy, he just didn't like attention. He'd moved here after his father, a decorated army captain, was transferred back home. But as we know, a normal day isn't always guaranteed. As he walked toward his locker, a group of boys in green varsity jackets blocked his path. Their leader, Trent, was the loud, confident type, the kind of kid everyone follows, but no one really likes deep down. "Well, well, who do we have here?" Trent grinned, sizing Eli up. Eli replied politely, just wanting to get by. "Just trying to get to class." Trent laughed, a harsh, mocking sound. "You talk funny, new kid. Where you from?" "Atlanta," Eli said calmly, his voice steady. Another boy in the group, Cole, smirked. "Figures. Probably thinks he's tough." Eli decided to ignore them and reached to open his locker. But just as the metal door swung open, Trent slammed it shut. The loud bang echoed in the hallway. "I'm talking to you." Eli took a slow, deliberate breath. "And I'm not interested in trouble." Trent's grin vanished, replaced by a scowl. "What did you say?" Eli met his gaze, his own eyes unflinching. "I said, have a good day." The group erupted in laughter, but it was forced, uncertain. Trent's voice dropped, turning darker. "You think you're better than us, huh?" Before Eli could answer, the second bell rang, signaling the start of class. He turned to walk away, but Trent wasn't done. He shoved Eli's shoulder hard. "Don't walk away when I'm talking to you." Eli stopped. He didn't turn around immediately. When he did, his eyes were calm, almost detached. "Then maybe say something worth listening to." That line hit its mark. The laughter around them died instantly. A flush of red crept up Trent's neck. "You got guts, kid," he seethed. "Let's see if you still talk like that after school." Eli didn't flinch. He simply replied, "You'll be disappointed." With that, he walked to class, leaving Trent fuming and his friends staring in disbelief. Trent stormed off, muttering to his crew, "You're done." Word spread like wildfire through the school. Trent is gone to teach the new kid a lesson after school. By the time the final bell rang, it felt like half the student body had gathered in the courtyard, buzzing with anticipation. Phones were already out, ready to record the showdown. Eli walked out quietly, his backpack slung over one shoulder, looking completely unfazed. Trent and his crew were waiting by the bleachers, a smug look on Trent's face. He shouted across the yard, playing to the crowd, "You think you can come here and act tough?" Eli calmly set his bag on the ground. "I don't think anything," he said, his voice carrying clearly. "I just don't like bullies." A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. This wasn't how these things were supposed to go. The new kid was supposed to be scared. Trent stepped closer, his fists clenched. "Say that again." Eli didn't hesitate. "I said, you're a bully." That was the final trigger. Trent swung first, a wild, angry punch aimed right at Eli's face. But what happened next shocked everyone. It was fast, but Eli was faster. He didn't fight back. He simply moved. He stepped aside with a smooth, practiced motion, and Trent, propelled by his own momentum, stumbled forward, off balance. Eli didn't throw a punch. He didn't kick. He just caught Trent's arm, twisted it gently but firmly, and used Trent's own weight to bring him to the ground. The crowd froze, a sea of stunned faces. Trent jumped up, his face a mask of fury and embarrassment, ready to charge again. But before he could take a step, a powerful voice cut through the tension. "That's enough!" Everyone turned, Walking toward them with a commanding presence was a tall man in a crisp army uniform. It was Captain Turner, Eli's father. The noisy courtyard fell into a dead silence. Eli looked down at the ground. "Dad?" Trent's face went pale. He recognized the uniform, the authority. Captain Turner's voice echoed through the yard, leaving no room for argument. "Everyone go home, now." No one moved for a second, then the crowd just melted away. There was nothing left to see. Later that evening, the scene shifted to the principal's office. Trent sat nervously next to his parents. Across from them sat Eli and his father, Captain Turner. Principal Hayes folded his hands on his desk. "I've reviewed the security footage," he began. "It's clear Eli didn't start this confrontation." Trent's father shifted uncomfortably, trying to downplay the incident. "Boys will be boys, right?" Captain Turner leaned forward, his gaze calm but intense. "No, sir," he said respectfully. "Boys become men by how they treat others. That's the test." The room fell silent. Trent stared at his shoes, unable to look up. His mother, her voice soft with regret, finally spoke. "We're so sorry, Captain. Truly." Captain Turner nodded. "I appreciate that. But I'm not here for punishment. I'm here for understanding." He then looked directly at Trent, not with anger, but with a quiet disappointment. "You saw someone different and you assumed they were weak, but being different doesn't mean being less." Trent swallowed hard. I didn't mean to—" "Yes, you did," Captain Turner said, his tone gentle but firm. "And now you know how it feels to be made to feel small in front of others." It was then that Eli spoke up, his voice quiet but clear. "I forgive you," he said to Trent, "but don't do it to anyone else." Those simple words, "I forgive you," hit harder than any punishment could have. There was no anger, no gloating, just grace. Trent's eyes filled with tears. He finally looked at Eli and whispered, "I'm sorry, Eli, I really am." Captain Turner offered a slight, approving smile. "Apology accepted," he said. "Now go prove it." And from that day forward, something fundamental changed in Oak Ridge High. Trent stopped posturing, stopped trying to be the tough guy. He even joined the same community service club that Eli volunteered for. Side by side, they painted fences, packed food boxes for shelters, and helped clean up local parks. The same students who once gathered to watch a fight now watched something far more powerful: respect being earned. Months later, during a school-wide assembly, Principal Hayes called both boys to the stage. "These two young men," he announced, "remind us all that true strength isn't found in your fists, it's found in your character." The auditorium erupted in applause. As they stood there, Trent leaned over and whispered to Eli, "You really showed me what real courage is." Eli smiled and replied quietly, "You found it yourself. I just reminded you where to look." The crowd cheered even louder as the two boys shook hands. From a distance, Captain Turner watched, a look of quiet pride on his face. Later, a local reporter asked him, "Sir, how did your son stay so calm in that situation? Where did he learn that?" The captain smiled. "I taught him what every soldier learns," he said. "You never fight to win. You fight only to protect." The story fades, but its message remains. Kindness doesn't make you weak. It makes you unshakable. If this story touched your heart and made you think, please consider subscribing to our channel and hitting that like button. Let us know in the comments what real strength means to you. Thank you for watching, and remember that every act of respect brings us one step closer to a better world.